You're welcome back, and it's time for My Banner. And on My Banner, we are announcing our way all through. In the studio with me is legal practitioner Samson Ladi Ayenene. We'll be engaging him on the expose that's sending chills down the spines of a lot of people. You're welcome, Counsel.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Now, let's start off with your own bearing on this in this particular case. And I want to find out, because I've heard you talk a lot about it. Where do you stand in all of these?
I say this is good, and you may have heard me also say that I believe that this is the ultimate God, who is the ultimate judge, who is bearing his anger at human beings who are playing God. There are some judges, and we must say that there are lots of good judges who will stand up to be counted. But those who obviously have misbehaved, misconducted themselves in this manner, they are the type that try to play God. When they sit in their seat of judgment with the coat of arms behind them, the whole state power behind them, they feel and act like they are God. And God, who is the ultimate judge, is angry at them for playing God.
But it's not their fault that they're playing God. It's basically a role that society has given them. So it's really not their fault. Unless you want to say that, well, they've done the wrong thing, and so God is judging them.
You are not and never supposed to play God.
They're not really playing God. They're being judges.
No matter how much power is invested in you, even if the power of the whole world was invested in you, you are not to play God.
But what do you mean by play God?
And behave as if you know it all. Anybody else can go and,
somersault.
That's it.
But what do you say? What do you mean by playing God?
That's what I'm explaining to you now. Lawyers will give you some of their experiences. You go before some judges. There are few of them, I must state. And they behave with you with such air of arrogance. Sometimes it's extremely disturbing if that judge was your mate in class, if that judge was your junior, but has had the rare privilege
of becoming
being
a
judge, and you walk into their court and they seek to embarrass you before your client and the entire court. You may make the slightest slip and they will harp on it
and throw your case out,
get to the point of insulting you and give you an idea and suggest to you as if you know next to nothing.
Let's talk about what the Chief Justice should do.
Let me give you this example of a colleague.
Let's make it brief.
Who says a judge almost killed his career. He did all the preparation he needed to do to be in that court. He shows up in that court, and the judge shows so much interest and passion in a case that he asks himself, is this supposed to be an impartial judge?
A lot of discretionary powers for the judges, you say.
The discretion must not be exercised arbitrarily.
Let's now move this conversation forward, Samson. You've been talking about this quite a lot, and people know your position on it. But what should the Chief Justice do in such a case? Should she resign?
Chief Justice resign? For what? Has she been found to have done anything wrong?
There are some people who are saying that you sat or you superintended over all of these.
I see.
All of these people. I mean, was there a way that she could have known?
Do you think there was a way those people have they said?
You were in that circle.
Those people, do they show you that the Chief Justice ought to have known that these particular judges, the named judges, were engaged in corruption and fraud.
Wouldn't there be complaints around the time? Wouldn't there be complaints?
There have been complaints, and we are aware of judges who have been removed as a result of complaints.
So
I have taken a complaint before as in my fair. We've taken a complaint before the judiciary, before the Judicial Council,
about the attitude
and
of
a process, not attitude, a clear fraud, acting as a judge, and the process was followed. Due process was followed. The hearing was done, evidence was provided. In the end, the judge was found to have done some wrong, and the necessary sanction was meted out.
In this particular massive situation, what would you have the Chief Justice do?
What I'll have the Chief Justice do is what the Constitution says, that the Chief Justice, together with the Judicial Council, and of course with the work of the President, ought to be done in respect of the Superior Court judges, that is the High Court judges who are involved, the 12 of them or so. The Constitution provides clearly in Article 146 that there ought to be a complaint to the President. The President will forward that complaint to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice will make a prima facie determination whether there's a case to go into. After that determination, a committee of 5 will be set up. There will be about 4 judges on it, and then there will be 2 other persons who are not judges and who are not lawyers.
The 4 judges who are going to be on it,
they're supposed to be from the Supreme Court, really.
The Supreme Court.
I am in one process now, which is the same kind of process. There are 2 Supreme Court judges, and there is 1 Court of Appeal judge.
Okay.
And then there is 1 civil servant, and there is 1 person in the army.
Have you seen them? Have you seen the video? Have you seen some of the judges?
I'm aware of as much as I speak about.
Feel free, something. Feel
yes.
free.
Okay, I'll speak.
Let it out.
As we speak, and as you've heard me speak so far, I speak to you on the basis of what I'm aware of.
What you're aware of.
Yes.
What you have seen. I mean, in terms of the video, what you have seen.
I speak to you on the basis of what I'm aware of.
How were you aware? You saw.
Look, what is important is what I'm aware of.
Or you heard.
I am aware,
okay,
and I have said
my question
that
really,
some of those judges will not escape even in hell.
Well, the question that I was coming to with that point was to find out from you whether those who are going to sit on this the committee to find out whether the suprema facie, like you say, you call it,
the prima facie will be made by the Chief Justice, and the committee will now do the hearing.
Sit on it. So this committee is supposed to be made up of judges. Are there
3 judges, 2 non-lawyers,
okay, how do we know that the judges we're putting on are not in the video? Is it easy?
As we know now, the judges that have been indicted are in the High Court.
In the High Court?
Yes.
None of them in the Supreme Court, none of them in the Appeals Court?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that sounds good to me. I mean, it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation, whichever way you look at it, but it sounds good that at least other appeals on the Supreme Court were safe.
But that's what the process dictates.
That's what the process.
Yeah, so we are not going to have a judge of the High Court being part of the panel.
No, but so assuming there was an appeals court or a Supreme Court judge in this, then who then sits on the committee?
The process, once again, is very clear.
It's clear.
When it has to do with, say, even the Chief Justice, okay? Even the Chief Justice, there's a clear process that is followed. Yes, you find that in Article 146 going.
So let's talk about this perception that is becoming more of a reality right now. How did we get here?
It's not becoming more of a reality. Now we have the hardcore.
So it's a reality?
Yes, it's become a reality.
It's become a reality.
In fact, over the period,
well, I have not seen it, so
over the period,
it's becoming a
in fact,
reality.
over the period, there have been complaints and judges have been removed. So the charge of perception of corruption in the judiciary, I've heard Afrobarometer surveys repeat this charge. I've heard colleague lawyers repeat the charge. I've heard even chief justices. As far as I'm aware, almost every chief justice we have had in this country has complained about corruption within the judiciary. It's because also they have had to deal with complaints about some of these things and have had to sack some people. So they know that it is real. But this is the time that we are getting to know the magnitude, the sheer magnitude. 10% of the judges we have in this country. We have about 350 judges in all. And this number represents about 10%. That is not a small number. Such a huge number.
But the question of how we got here is not just about the complaints that have come, but how is it possible that in a society where the people who are supposed to, you know, uphold the Constitution and uphold the very moral fiber of society are caught in something like this? How?
It is sad. And you see, when a judge is being appointed, the prerequisite first threshold that they are supposed to pass, the Constitution calls it high moral character. You must be someone of high moral character. Guess what? It doesn't end there. End of proving integrity. Your integrity has been tested and proved. And when you have been given the opportunity to become a judge, the oath you swear says that you swear the oath to be bold, to act boldly and fearlessly, and that you will perform your functions without affection or ill will. So it tells you, like you just said, that the judges are supposed to represent the peak and the best
of morality,
of moral standard in society. But we know that we are humans and we don't have a perfect situation. Like they say in Hakan, Ifebia Mensawum. These are the mensens that have been caught.
The mensens are many and it's scary.
I will say 350 judges in this country, and out of that number, 34. Yes, it's a big number, but it is still very much in the minority. In fact, later on, Anas is supposed to reveal to us some judges they attempted to take through this process and what those judges tried to do to them. The threats, including, you know, the possibility of they being arrested and jailed for attempting to suggest to a judge that I have a case at your place and I want to pay so much so that, you know, you compromise justice.
Those judges will be, I mean, it will be fantastic to know them.
We have a good number of them in the system. But of course, as the records now show, the bad nuts are also within the system.
Why is it that, is it fair to say that we've come to this level where we're having this number of corrupt judges because the pain that you suffer when you're caught is minimal, is negligible? How is it that we've not been able to make corruption such a painful thing to do, to even consider? Is that not why we're here?
Right. I think you have a good point there, because as we speak, some people are asking the question, why is it that they are just going to be taken through the disciplinary process and perhaps in the end removed for misconduct? For the circuit and district magistrate judges, it is the Chief Justice, the petition goes to the Chief Justice, and then the prima facie is made, and then she sets up a committee. The Judicial Council will set up a committee, and then they will investigate those people and deal with them. When they deal with them, the ultimate is that you have been removed. Your job has been taken away from you. Go away. But I think it is not mean punishment.
To be removed?
Yes. You lose your job in the first place. For your life, you can never regain your integrity. Because how are you going to do it? Again, if you are to become a judge in the superior court, like the high court, you have to be a lawyer. So if you're a lawyer also, then you can't continue to practice in the court. Because this is misconduct that removes you at 2 levels. So you can't be a judge and you can't practice as a lawyer anymore. So you have lost your livelihood.
Can you practice elsewhere?
You can't.
Not in Ghana.
You can't. Not anywhere on this earth. Okay? It is the reason we have also to be a bit sympathetic that some of them we are hearing are even becoming suicidal.
It sounds more than suicidal if you ask me.
Yes, because some of them will ask themselves, what is there to live for anymore?
Exactly.
Because, look, if they have children and they do, are in the schools and everywhere, how are their children going to be able to stand up,
exactly,
you know, and face their friends?
It's going to be very
right.
difficult.
Their names are being put out there, which must be done. All of them, their names should be put out there. Their pictures should be put out there. I hear some people suggest that, let's protect that and then let's do the process internally. Well, if you caught a policeman, you make them face the music. The law says all of us are equal before the law. It doesn't say a judge is not as equal as the hawker on that street who steals, or the guy who stole that goat and was asked to hang the goat on his neck and put that placard on his in front of him to say, I'm a goat thief.
Was that judge in the video?
I pray and hope he is in that video.
Oh, really?
I pray and hope he is.
Why would you do so?
So that for him, maybe we should also have that placard put on him and show to the whole world that.
Well, it would be very bad if he's not.
That I am a corrupt judge to the core.
No. Samson, let's talk about why a lot of lawyers, I mean, you've been talking about this since yesterday with so much passion. You've gone biblical, actually. You've become a pastor all of a sudden with this particular case. I've heard Ace Ankuma speak. Ace has spoken with so much passion. I mean, you could feel it. It's like almost getting out of you out there. There's also a sense of bitterness. Why?
Look, if the judiciary is bastardized and if complete confidence is lost in the judiciary, you and I are not safe. The judiciary is the only place left. It is the only institution that keeps our society together. It is the only institution that separates our society from the jungle life. Look, but for the judiciary, if those who are crying that their lands have been taken away from them unlawfully, you know all they would have done? Just get some, weapons and start, if they could shoot anybody who came on site. Get some stones and throw them at anybody who comes on site. Kill anybody who comes around. Survival of the fittest. That's a stone age. The judiciary is a social engineering to avoid that and to keep a decent society. So, apart from the fact that my livelihood will be on the line, because that is where I also make my living. If clients will not come anymore, bring their cases because they don't have faith in the court, system, then the system is completely messed up.
And that's why you speak with so much passion about it.
Yes, and you say, I'm almost becoming biblical and acting like a pastor. I've been a pastor before. so this is not new to me.
It's not new to you.
Right.
Well, let's talk about the judges who have been caught in this. I mean, they all started as lawyers, right?
Not all of them.
Well, let's say
those
most
at
of
the
them
magistrate are not all lawyers.
But there's a trend, there's a very common trend where lawyers rise up through the ranks to become judges.
Yes.
Do you, you've been practicing for a while, do you get the sense that we're having the kind of people in the system right now who are going to go through the ranks and get here, or you think that we have a better crop of people right now?
Well, from what I'm seeing...
Better for lack of a better word.
From what I'm seeing, I've seen my colleagues go in and they are starting from the scratch. They're starting from the district court. And look, if you practice as a lawyer for 5 years, you're qualified to go straight to the High Court, right? But they have decided that I would rather want to start from the district court. And the district court, is lower, the pay and everything else is lower, and yet they've decided to start from there. It is because they want to gain a lot of experience. From the district, they may move up to the circuit court, and then eventually get to the High Court, and then maybe to Court of Appeal and the
Supreme Court.
and the apex, the Supreme Court. So from what I'm seeing, for example, I've seen a good number of my juniors go into the district court. So it's good.
It's good.
It's good, but once again, it's a human institution.
Anything
you
can
can't
happen.
guarantee that everybody is going in there with good conscience. Some people may also fall to temptation. In fact, some of the judges who are falling victim, I am so shocked. Look,
maybe it was their first time.
It could be a temptation that just came up the first time and
they fell.
You know, a Christian will say it's the doing of the devil in this case. Look, I was having a discussion with my wife. She's a lawyer, and she says, "Oh, that judge too is there." And she says, "Jesus, I can't believe it."
Wow.
Look, I know some of the judges who are crifate to the core, consummate Christians.
Where do we go from here, Samson?
Crifate to the core.
Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? The manner, the swift manner that the Chief Justice and the Judicial Council have begun to deal with this matter, it gives me a lot of hope that, look, we will all deal with this issue swiftly, correctly, and appropriately, that in the end, the judiciary will be better. In fact, the confidence that is being feared will be lost, will rather, you know, be increased, because there will be a feeling that the bad ones have been removed, and that if you attempt to do the bad thing, you'll be found out and you'll be punished.
Right.
How we deal with this situation will tell very much what will be left of the confidence in the judiciary by all of us.
Right.
The court clerks must take a cue. The things they are supposed to do, ordinary things. If you don't give lunch, they won't do it. The typists at the court supposed to type that small one-page paper which a judge has ordered so that the judge will sign. They insist if you don't give that lunch, they won't do it. The bailiff who has been paid to take that document and bring it to you, Gifty, sits there and says, if you don't give me some money, I won't take it there. Or you don't give me transport, I won't take it there. All of them. This is a big lesson to them. And I hope and believe that the media will also do its part by not overgeneralizing this whole thing and say judges are corrupt. Let us single and isolate these bad judges and deal with them for who they are.
Right. Now, that's a very good note to end on. But are you giving me a ticket? I'm sure you have some.
Maybe you have yours before I do.
I don't have.
I never know.
I don't have it, but I want to see the video. So
you see it. After seeing you see it.
I'll see it.
Yes, you see it.
But I want to see it first.
You see it.
Like
I'm supposed to see it around some time. Maybe I'll apply.
We can do that behind the scenes.
I'll apply that
right?
you join me.
We can. We'll do that behind the scenes.
Right.
But we'll let you know when we find out. I've been speaking with legal practitioner Samson Ladi Ayenene. They've shown so much passion about this particular case. We'll see how it goes. Some have argued though that the judges are not well paid, and that may be a flawed argument though. But we don't have a lot of time to go into that. Samson has given us a lot of perspective on this case, but we'll have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for being with me here on my banner, Samson. Thank you for coming through.
My pleasure.
But AM Talk is up next. Roland Walker is going to be doing politics with some members of parliament. You definitely want to take a listen to that. Please stay tuned.